All right, we got a lot to talk about. We have the Ultimate Collector Series at. We have Delorean rumors, and we're also going to talk about some retirement sets that we hope are going to be discounted before the end of the year. I'm Jim. This is Mike. Now let's brick it up. All right, Mike. So we do have quite a bit to talk about. We have the Ultimate Collector Series at, which I personally have been looking forward to. And I've been looking forward to it more than other Lego sets, mostly because there are a lot of cool Star Wars ships, right? Mm-hmm. But I was waiting for the at because it's not a Star Wars ship. Let me tell you, man, this I mean, it's out of this world. It's huge.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm ready to go see it in the store. I haven't made it to a store. Well, what am I talking about? It's not even out yet. But everything you see online looks like a behemoth. It just looks huge, man.
Yeah, I think that's actually a great term. It is a behemoth. I mean, it's got a tower. I mean, it's probably, how tall is it? It's as tall as like 3 Millennium Falcons stacked on top of each other, maybe 4. I don't know. Yeah. The price, I'm trying to remember what the price is. Is it $900?
8.
Is it 8? Okay. Holy cow. Now, the good news is you get the Luke Skywalker lightsaber, which you could probably easily sell for $100, $150. But still, that's going to hurt your wallet. You'd be talking about a $650 set if you're able to resell the lightsaber. So
yeah, I mean, I got the Cantina last year and got Yoda's lightsaber, and I'm gonna keep it most likely. So I haven't looked, but I think I've heard it sells in the $100 range or something. But yeah, I ended up getting the Cantina, and then a month later, just put it out there on Facebook and had a guy buy it from me. So I kept the lightsaber, and I didn't get anything on top of it. I just got my $375 tax, whatever it was, back. I mean, I tried, and then I just said, I just want to get rid of it. I'll buy another one later, but would love to do that with like the get it, keep it, or maybe sell it. But man, I just don't think I can pull the trigger on the $800 right now, but I do want it. I got the Falcon that just is boxed away in the closet, and I'll build it one day. But it seems like a really cool set. There's a lot of cool features, and I know these aren't really for the playability, I guess, but
right.
That thing's supposed to, I think it has 40 seats to hold like Hoth troopers. And then if you may, I know people were posting today that they finally have some pictures of these Hoth, I guess the new battle packs, and maybe they're going for 20 anyway. Looks like a really cool set. I definitely want it at some point, but it might be 2 years down the road. We'll see. Who knows?
And it'll probably be retiring 2 to 3 years down the road. I'd be surprised if it was going any longer than that.
You think it'll go that short? I would think it would go a little longer. I don't know. I mean, the Falcon's been around for quite a while. The Death Star, is it going on 3 years now?
I think it's going on 3 years, and it's coming to an end soon, right?
Maybe. I can't say that I've heard. If I don't know, I would assume the Millennium Falcons, they're one of those, like, they're probably killing it on that. I know I read something yesterday that I think it's out of stock. I haven't checked Lego. It may be there, but I read something about it's coming in and out. But I mean, you may be right. Obviously, the shorter that life, the more that thing would go up. But trying to drop $800 on multiple of those for investments, kind of do your thing. But
yeah, I just don't see
one.
People stacking that, and
the box has got to be massive, man.
You almost have to ask yourself the question from a reseller's perspective.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not going to buy 10 to resell, then why even buy 1 to resell, right? Because it's, I mean, if you want to buy it as a collector and a builder, I think that's great. But at what size does a Lego set become a hassle to resell, right? I mean, the Colosseum, the Titanic.
I'm with you. Yeah, I got the Falcon. I may get the Destroyer. I'm gonna be kind of nerdy and say I like the playability features of them. You know, especially with like my daughters, I would love to reenact some scenes or something once they're a little older. And I've seen it in the store to know what it looks like built, and you can play with that one. But the Star Destroyer is it's an empty shell, man. Like with 2 people, and I'm like, for $700, I'd rather just I don't have any destroyers yet, so I want one at some point, and there'll be another one sooner or later for the call it $160 price point that I will get. But I definitely want the at but I'm not going to invest in it. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't see the point of even buying one. I mean, if somebody wants to, sure, but I already know how much the Falcon weighs and how much space it takes up. I mean, unless you got a warehouse, those things are massive, and
right.
you can go get a lot of smaller sets for that price. But hey, whatever.
I'm kind of imagining now, as you were talking about it, that at the Lego warehouse, there's some new guy. It's his first day, and he's a forklift operator, and he's got a pallet of these Millennium Falcons. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'd just be so nervous. But anyway,
right. I'd feel bad for the guy that's got to carry them, man. Especially like having to walk that thing around. I assume they got some kind of process other than they're just. But I remember when it came to my door and I picked it up, I was like, dang. I mean, I don't remember. It's a 40 or 50 pound. It seemed like, I could be off. It was at least 30. It was, but anyway.
Right. Okay, cool. Now there's also rumors of a Delorean coming out, I believe, at the beginning of 2022, which I've been hearing of rumors for some time, and I could be wrong. I think they said it's going to be not the same scale as the Ecto-1, which I think is a little bit disappointing because they're both 80s movies. I think the Delorean is going to be somewhere, have a price point somewhere around $100, which is still cool as long as it's bigger than the Ideas. And for me, when I saw that Lego Ideas, I've said it before, I just thought that was a stinker just because it kind of didn't look like a Delorean in some regards, but I'm really looking forward to this one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I loved all the Back to the Future movies, but I've never seen or held the old one in person. I've seen pictures of it, and it seemed pretty cool. If I was buying more stuff back then, that was probably right before or right around when I was getting back into Lego just as an adult. I mean, I probably would have picked it up. I bought like the Flintstones last year just to have one. I thought that was kind of a neat thing, but yeah, hopefully, I mean, if it's $100, that's probably what, 900 something pieces. So hopefully it's a decent size, but you're saying you would prefer it to be bigger, like the Ecto is. I don't know the piece count on it, but being $200, it's a, what, 16 to 1800 maybe piece count, or maybe a little more. You're wanting it to be bigger, or maybe about double the size of what it probably will be.
Yeah, just because they're both 80s movies,
sure.
And I just thought it would be cool to have it, in the same size. But either way, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I always thought that Lego should have some sort of Back to the Future theme where they have that clock tower, not the clock tower,
right?
Yeah, but they have the clock, and you could get really creative because you could have like the Western theme. You could have the 19
train.
Yeah, you could have, I mean, you could really go out there, right?
People would buy that train. They love trains.
I know. So yeah, I've always thought there should be a Back to the Future theme. Lego kind of half-assed it with the Ghostbusters theme. I mean, they had a modular building, and then they had the car. I mean, they could have done it up a little bit more, and maybe have a Keymaster minifig, and I don't, they could have had those creatures that were at the top of the building.
Yeah, like the gargoyle, the dogs, or whatever those things are. Yeah. Oh man, those would be really cool. They got that. They should be able to build something like that now. There's like a Harry Potter set with that fluffy 3-headed thing. I would think they could make the mold for anything at this point. That'd be funny.
You would think so. I always thought it was funny that the Keymaster, the character that played the Keymaster, but before he became the Keymaster, he was always the gentleman that kept on locking himself out of his apartment in the movie, and then he turns out to be the Keymaster.
Rick Moranis or whatever.
Yeah, Rick Moranis. Yeah, he was talking to that lady in Aliens, and he kept on locking himself out of his apartment, and he was the Keymaster. Was she the
gatekeeper? Now I need to go back and watch the movie, man. It's been years since I've seen it, but I felt like they both had, like, he was Keymaster, she was the gatekeeper or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, Sigourney. That'd be hilarious to have like set up with them on like the top of a building or something, and I don't know. That's because Marshmallow Man or whatever.
Yeah, I mean they need an Ultimate Collector Series Stay Puft, right?
Yeah, I mean 80s guys, you're definitely, or 70s or 80s or what. That's 80s, right? So I was, yeah. I mean, people would love to buy that stuff. I think just for that nostalgia and adding it to their collection. If they already had that, like the fire, I forget the exact name of the place, but the firehouse or whatever that they operated out of their headquarters.
Right.
I don't know.
Right. Cool. So we're getting close to the end of the year, and there's a lot of sets that are going to be retiring. Now, for me personally, I would love for there to be a lot of discounts and sales. For me, I think it's been kind of lackluster so far compared to the previous years, although I do have some reseller buddies that have scored quite a few stuff, and I'm happy for them. I was just curious if there was any sets that are upcoming retiring that you're hoping that might just be slashed down to 30-40%.
I mean, anything Star Wars would be awesome to me, but then, a lot of times it's my collector side coming out, because I think the A-Wing, I mean, do they ever, I don't think Lego reduces the prices on like those UCS style, but I know Amazon, because I bought the Y-Wing and the Tantive 5 from a few years ago on Amazon that were 200 price point, and I think I got them for like 160. I'm sure somebody that watches this has bought those too or whatever, which back then, if I would have thought about it or known more about reselling and whatnot, I wouldn't have mind picking up a few more, because they're going, I was checking the other day, the Tantive is going like 300 something, but the Y-Wing I think I saw yesterday or the day before for like 500 something. But anyway, Star Wars stuff, maybe even some Minecraft. I mean, I've gone to my local Lego store and I've bought a couple, and I want to buy some more. They have tons of the Minecraft smaller sets. Creepers are gone, but the smaller set, they've had them for like 20% off, and it's almost like they can't get rid of them. And I'm like, I'll just buy a couple at a time. Like, well, I'll take them from you. I'm trying to think of anything else. Yeah, because I saw, we could sit here and talk about Black Friday, and I figure the reality is things that they're going to put out there probably suck. I mean, there might be something good, but like it's almost like everybody started those Black Friday sales already. Well, I know people have been talking about Hagrid's Hut for $30 and what's the old Golden Boy we've been talking about all year? What's going to happen with it? I'm staring at it right here and I can't think of it. That the ATST, the Mandalorian one.
Dude,
$30 for a week or two at least on Walmart. So
that's a good deal. And here's the thing, like, I will champion that set forever.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a hill I'm going to die on. There was a Patreon that it was so funny. Like and I'm not saying this to be mean if you're watching, but he was recovering from COVID, right? And he had the oxygen in, and he's like, I will die on this hill that the ATST is going to be. And so I'm like, I'm with you, brother, right? But now, having said that, if you look at the ATST they're putting out, the new one, I just don't think it's as good as the Cara Dune one.
It's scrawny looking. I'm gonna buy it because I just love Star Wars, but this one, I got it right here, man. Like, I just love the coloring and everything to it. It's a good looking set. It's the first one I own. I haven't bought any before. I kind of passed up things when I first got into this, however many years ago, 6 or so years ago. I was selective, and then I have that buyer's remorse and whatnot. And then I'm like, I don't feel like paying the aftermarket fees. I got to be straight. But it's a good looking set. But yeah, I saw a couple of guys put those videos out today, and they showed, I guess that those are the true images of the new sets, and I'm with you. It looked good, but I felt like it was lacking a little bit and beefy. I mean, they look like it had scrawnier legs than this one, and they're pretty scrawny. Yeah,
the Cara Dune one I think looks a lot more sleek, and it's colorful. So yeah, I really think it. I've talked about this. I've had my ATST rant before, so I'm not going to do it again. But I think the reseller chatter over the whole thing may have done a little bit more damage when it comes to the resale versus
Yeah.
the events that actually happened. Because I like
Yeah.
the set before it happened. I loved it
Right.
after it happened.
Yeah.
And so, but we'll see. I mean, I think I have somewhere around 250. So I'm not going to be buying any more, but $30 is a really good deal.
Yeah, I thought about picking up a few more now that they're, because I was the handful I have. I don't have 200 something, but I think I picked them up for 40, so I wouldn't mind a few more. And yeah, I'm with you. Like, the chatter may hurt it a little, but there's going to be people, and I can always just point to myself that don't. I could really care less sometimes about stuff. It's interesting to listen to what people's got to say, but at the end of the day, I still want it. I love the show. I think the set's really cool. You know, there's going to be somebody that's going to want to get it. Now, will we get as much as we were anticipating? Maybe, but
Right. Did
so
you
good.
have a question about mechs that you wanted to chat with me about?
Well, I was curious because I've heard you say on your channel before that you are big into the mechs, and I have like a few. I got a few of the Thanos, a couple of Thor, and some of them are still out there. I mean, I think Thanos is probably cleaned out for the most part. You might can find it, but I was curious about your thoughts and why you like them so much. And then obviously there's new, spoiler alert if people haven't seen, but there's some. I think January 1st we got a Black Panther one that looks pretty good, and another Iron Man one that's, I think they're saying it's based off of like the Mach, what do they call them, the Mach 43 or something. I don't know
Yeah.
all the Iron Mans. I know anyway. And then my favorite that I specifically wore my shirt to mention, I love Wolverine, man. I'm so hoping, like, I really hope they bring back X-Men stuff. They've had Avengers, which I'm totally like, but I've always been an X-Men guy since I was a little boy.
Right.
So I'm excited about that, and I'm definitely going to pick those up for myself. And then there was like a $40 Iron Man, almost like a statue. Like they did those ones a few years back. They did Iron Man, and they did those Star Wars. I don't have any of them, but I guess my question is like your thoughts on the new sets, and you just seemed pretty high on them before from your previous videos. So I was just curious because
Yeah, so I like mechs a lot, and I tried to actually do a video on mechs at one time, but whenever I was doing my research, and when I say research, look online, but there really only seems to be mechs that Lego have put out over the last few years, right? So it's not like if you go back 5 years, there's really not a lot of mechs, so
Right.
it's a little bit tricky to kind of gauge, the history and value. But for me, their sets are usually under $10, right? And so if they're under $10, that means as gifts or kids with a little bit of extra money, they're willing to probably spend 30 or $40 on something like that if they really like it, right? And also these are sets that could easily be discounted 20 or 30%. You just get a stack of them, put them on a shelf for clearance or something like that. I think it flies under the radar a little bit, definitely under the radar than a Razor Crest or something like that if you're trying to get multiples. But yeah, I think I saw, I can't remember if it was an actual mock or what the actual Wolverine mech is going to look like. And I've always liked Wolverine. So I think that would do really well. And that's the first time that there's been attention to Wolverine other than a minifigure. I think he may have had maybe a couple years ago. And I know there's a lot of Wolverine fans that watch this. And one time I said something about Wolverine and I got hammered. So I'm not trying to I'm just letting you know. So I'm not trying to act like an expert in Wolverine, although I enjoy him. But I think there were a couple sets out that may have had some sort of aircraft or something like that done well. But I'm really thinking the Wolverine mech will do really well. I mean, that's something that would definitely be on my buy list for myself as it gets closer to retire.
And that's what I was curious, kind of what your thoughts were, because I figure there's not as much data, but I assumed it was a matter of price point, and I assume there's going to be a bunch of them out for a while, and people can easily pick them up. But yeah, there's like certain characters. Wolverine is just one of those. I think a lot of people either love him or hate him. I've always loved him, and people can say, "Well, you like it because it's Wolverine." Well, nah, dude, I've been watching them since the '90s, man. Like, I had anyway. We can not get into that. But yeah, they had the I actually got it behind me, the helicopter, and that thing sells for crazy. Is because and it's also got Deadpool in it.
Right.
And I didn't, back when that came out, I wasn't buying Lego. But I found
Did you buy that on the aftermarket?
Yeah, well, actually, I went on Facebook and I found it from some dude in I don't wherever, North Carolina or something, for like $60 or something. And I just paid it and I got it, and it was in pretty good shape, man. You never know. I sell a few things on the Brick Link, and I tell them, like, I built it once, stored it, put it back in the box. Like, and I truly mean that. Like, I'm very OCD. I don't play around with that. And I know if I'm gonna sell it to somebody else, I want to stand behind what I'm selling them. But I've taken the chance and bought some sets, and a couple of them have been not very good. But this one was in good shape. And then there was but when I first got back into Lego as a collector, I don't know, maybe 6 years ago or something, is when I went into the store, and that's when the Helicarrier was out, the other tumbler was out, and I saw the it's like a Sentinel, X-Men Sentinel. It's the only other X-Men set I've seen, so I bought that, and then I got into buying tons. But yeah, I think there was like little X-Men or Wolverine or something microfighter from a few years ago. I didn't get it, but now I'm starting to see, like, and maybe that's kind of your thing, like when you were talking about the Millennium Falcon microfighter, not the Han Solo, but you were showing the one with Chewbacca.
Yeah,
how that's doing. So I guess the same along the lines of affordability and easy to sell, easy to pack, easy to store, and hopefully get a good premium for it. So, but yeah, I'm excited about the Wolverine. That's my favorite out of those. This is the second Iron Man, so whatever. They made it more gold.
Right.
We'll see.
We'll see. Is Wolverine your favorite X-Men?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, yes, he is. Let me clearly state that. But I love all of them, and I like I read a lot of comics. I haven't had the time. I still have tons and tons. But yeah, X-Men's been my favorite or whatever. But he is definitely my favorite character.
I'd say my favorite one is Magneto, and then Wolverine is a close second.
See, I'm with you. I think a lot of people, it's like Darth Vader, man. Magneto's just misunderstood,
Dude, he is. He totally is. So is Thanos, man.
Right.
I'm just,
was he wrong? Was he wrong?
I always say, when people question me as a joke, I just want to keep this in mind as nothing but a joke. They're like, Thanos is the hero. I said, yeah. I said, there's a man of color trying to save the universe, and then you have all these Avengers trying to. And then they're like, oh, but yeah, all these people are missing. I said to my 5-year-old son, he said to me, I thought Megatron was a good guy, but he's a bad guy. And I said, son, are you sure he's a bad guy? Because I never told you he was a bad guy. I said, Megatron is trying to save his people and his planet. Is there anything wrong with that?
That's a good way. I haven't thought about Megatron. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, and then you have Optimus Prime. He's coming in trying to undermine Megatron. So, but all right, I think, man, I think we let this go over a little too much. But I hope everybody enjoyed this segment of Brick It Up. And just to remind everybody, all of the odd episodes are on my channel, and all of the even episodes are on Mike's channel. So if you want to watch all of the episodes, you make sure that you subscribe to both of our channels. I'm Jim, this is Mike, and we'll catch you next time.